Matt, there's a giant major announcement today. I I thought it was going to be a secret agent man type situation. They're building tribunals in Cuba. El Trompedente. I thought he was going to come in and say, "I am the new Speaker of
Leader
the
of the free
House,
world. Yeah.
leader of the free world." Instead, Matt, what we
We're
got,
talking trading cards.
we got, we got trading cards.
The shit show circus.
Are you fucking kidding me? Secret agent man. Come on, man. I was ready to go. I was ready to play some. Here we go. Major announcement, right? He's got digital trading cards. Uh I was so disappointed. But hold on. This was a good one here. The suit and the reality. For sure. I thought that was great. Yeah, we were talking on the way in, Matt. He did cut his teeth in big league wrestling.
Right.
He did cut his teeth. But I thought the Blaze from the 13th was a better major announcement. And this was Ron DeSantis saying he is petitioning the Supreme Court of Florida to impanel a statewide grand jury to investigate any wrongdoing in Florida with respect to the jab sequence. Interesting. That's like a major announcement to me. And then you shared inside the network that he actually made this statement too, which he is stepping away from the NFT collection that he just announced. Is this correct? And handing over governance to a decentralized autonomous organization, a DAO, continued success and transparency. Man, a DAO is basically what Bitcoin is, a decentralized autonomous organization. He's moving his Discord community to Truth Social. I don't know what it all means. It's a nonsense. It's nonsense is what it means to me.
It's another distraction that we just don't need.
Unreal. And then whoa.
Can we stop?
Whoa, here we go. All right, let me bring this up. Let me bring this in because we argued about this too. Cade saying, please just keep on saying it's the shittiest offense in college football. Please just think we're going to be so shitty next year. Please continue. Cade McNamara.
Yeah.
What's amazing is he's putting himself in the starting position. I don't know what the rest of the quarterback room thinks.
I mean, you got to make the team still. You got to make the team. And Cade, you have a MCL repair that's ongoing. Like you are just starting to repair it. Same with Eric Gall, buddy. You just had a back surgery. So I hope they are well, and I hope they are able to compete in the West, and I hope we see them in the Big Ten championship and whoop their asses again.
Believe me, if I was like in that quarterback room, I'd be like, what is this guy?
Yeah.
What's this guy?
He's coming in like he's the captain already.
Let me get, how about you throw a few out patterns and on a rope, on a dime, as we say in the quarterback room, man. How about you put a few things on a dime somewhere, because apparently you weren't dime worthy at Michigan. What makes you think you're dime worthy?
Well, no, he was great, but the reality is Michigan had running backs, Michigan had wide receivers. He couldn't throw very well to the wide receivers, so now he's bringing his favorite target, who just had back surgery, a good tight end, a very good tight end. So the two of them, I mean, all you got to do is put a couple linebackers on the tight end and a safety on the quarterback, and then where's your offense, Cade? Where's your offense? Oh, wait, you don't have any. You don't have a running back. You don't have a wide receiver that can catch your. I mean, good luck.
Man, we have a trend.
Good riddance. Down. Good riddance. It was, why the attitude? Why are you so bitter?
I don't know. It's the season of. It's the season of life.
I mean, you got to the semifinal and got bludgeoned because you couldn't throw to your wide receivers downfield. So that's why you're not the quarterback now. And guess what? In that game against Ohio State this year, he would not have succeeded. He would have gotten sacked. JJ got out of the pocket and threw 60-yard bombs all day. The only reason Michigan won was because of the play calling and a guy who could scramble and throw it 60 yards on the run. That guy can't do that. So I'm just saying.
Making new lows here, trend date down. New lows, trend date down.
All day, new lows.
And my friend Gary Morrow, we've had him on the show. He's saying wave one complete by this metric. I traded with them for years in Chicago. And when I saw this, I thought, man, I've never seen this metric before, mostly at how long the cycle takes to play out.
Yeah, like I told you, this is my youth. I remember this fully growing up in Detroit in the late 60s to mid 80s. Those are like my schooling years. I mean, all we were living in Detroit, it was a permanent recession.
It was depression, recession, and inflation.
And you got that thing right over your head, by the way.
I know I do, because you don't need to see me to see the graphic.
All right.
You don't need to see me.
Okay.
But my
point your left shoulder looks good.
Hi, I'm still over here. My point here is, let me see if I can reach around and point to it. My point is that it's a long cycle, and think about how in 76, 77 they thought it had been whipped, and then it reaches out to new highs into the early 80s, out to 14% inflation. I mean,
right. That
is something to behold. And maybe the people that are trading now that didn't live through this or trade through this should pay attention to this. And what it really says to me mostly, Matt, is we got a couple of solid decades into our retirement where the trading is going to be great. It's going to be great. That's all there is to it. I mean, there is so much money floating around, chasing shit left, right, and center. And the volatilities, if the Fed decides that really are going to pull like the QE, the QT, the QE forever, along with higher rates. Somebody else shared too, like the whole thing seems like it can bust here, Matt, as the interest payments on the national 31 trillion of national debt. That becomes the elephant in the room also. Like, how do you pay for it all? How do you pay the interest payment, for God's sakes?
Yeah.
Anyway, let's du jour on whatever you want to look at price.
Well, I'm just let's look at this, because 2 days ago in the CPI we were at 41.80, and today we're at 39.12 on the SPOOs. So destruction happened real quick here, and this is not a pretty chart for those that are been waiting for the Santa Claus rally. The Santa Claus rally is done. It happened. We peaked here, and we really peaked here. So it's been done since the 1st of December. Ho, ho, ho's job. Now that these two events are done, you get the CPI and this. And by the way, we erased this rally that we had on Powell's speech. Remember, he had a speech at the Brookings Institute. We were at 39.50 when that took us all the way up 160 points. That has been removed. We're down here in new lows, 39.09 as we speak, taking out the lows that we made after that speech of 39.13. So this is one wild Mr. Toad's wild ride right now. And if you don't like volatility, then get away, because it may be quiet as we go into next week. There's really nothing on the charts, but there's no economic news coming before Christmas now. So after the sell-off, they may get a little, they may rally back. Let's just say we get down to 3,900. It holds. That's 280 points. Maybe we'll bounce 140, get up to the top of that profile, maybe 40. I don't know. But right now, as you pull back, if we can't hold 3,900, by the way, tomorrow especially, I would say, the selling may come sooner than later. So this is the third time, by the way. One, we were here mid-November, and this is the third time that we've been at this price level, Bob. So 3,900 is crucial, and really the long-term chart is, as you know, we're going to go down to 3,000 now in the early part of next year. It's not going to be much more than that. I don't see us getting much lower than 3,000 right now, but I think that's your next target, 30 to 3,200. We should see those prices. Yeah.
All right, man. I'm going to jump. I want to jump to a location in time on the curve, and we were talking about this coming in, and let me explain with that inflation cycle as my backdrop, that it's long and painful, and what I want to show here, and I've showed this chart before. And this is the DEES-23, DEES-24 Eurodollar chart. It's that little 1 year snippet. right? And basically it's saying right now that between D's 23 and D's 24, the Fed will actually ease by a full 1.25 in that time frame, right? By the time you get to D's 24, rates are 1.25 lower than they would be in D's 23. And my point to you is there is no way anybody has any confidence in what is going to go on between now and the end of 23, for one thing, and between 23 and 24. Good luck trying to figure out what this world is going to look like. And so what I think, though, is that this is a great tradable chart, this spread. And I told you on the way in, I was very familiar with, I didn't spend more than maybe 6 or 8 months over in the Eurodollar complex as an order filler in my career. But what I can tell you for sure is the majority of trading that goes on in the Eurodollar contract is spreading one part of this curve versus the other. And when you see a chart like this that spent, a ton of time, and if I shrink it, I can show you. Fractal out. Let me fractal out so I can show you. Because it basically spent the entirety of the people trading it on a little bit of interest rates going up in the future, right?
Yeah.
But when you see this move now over the past year and a half, it is a great tradable chart, and you can trade this thing with size, and they do. And for me, it tells me if inflation isn't going away, right, this spread comes back to par, and maybe goes positive. All right, they're saying to us they're going to be easing rates between 23 and 24. Well, if inflation doesn't go away, like the other cycle that I just showed you, if it doesn't go away, this chart cannot stay here, right? If rates have to stay high and elevated and continue to be raised, this chart has to revert back to even money. I'm keeping an eye on it. I think it's a great tradable chart. And let me just jump out between 24 and 25. When you look at this part of the chart, it's gotten dead flat. Like they are pricing in. I have no idea what's going to go on between those two data points, those two times and place. Space and time, Matt. Space and time, very important.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Lee's asking for a little OIH. We haven't looked at that in a while.
Well, it's funny. I was just looking at oil, so let me bring up oil, and then we can look at there's a couple different oil ETFs we can look at after that, but it's going to be the same thing. You'll get the same picture. Again, oil has been very bullish this week. We talked about it just yesterday, Lee, so there's really nothing new here. We did sell off a little bit, and then we found buyers again down at 75 level today, and we're back to 77. So again, everybody, every furu, FinTwit is bearish right now on oil, and I get that. I do get that. I mean, again, let's just start kind of at the big picture here, and if you look at the longer term picture, it doesn't look pretty, right? If you're trading this time frame, the 6-10 time frame. However, as long as $60 holds, this is still fine to me, right? This is still, I think we're okay. So we're trading 77 on the short term, but as long as kind of that 60 level, in here holds, I think we're okay. That's kind of been my line in the sand. Anything below that, it's going to go to 40, right? And but I think there's enough going on in the world. Energy, the time of year, winter is coming. The EVs are not going to be in every garage by 2025, 2030, or 2035. It's physically and it's an impossibility. There's no chance of that happening. Toyota has said this to making EVs. They're not even making them. So
they are the Toyota's the Matt Davio of the car production.
Well, but I'm saying if you're one of the largest, most respected auto companies in the world, Toyota Motors, right? And you're not, you're not even making an EV, then they have some, but they're not going all EV. They're not.
And they've said they are not.
And they've said it. We're not getting rid of gas cars. So I'm going to go with the one that's not playing the woke game and say they're being business people. The Japanese are decent at at business. They're not good at taking losses, but they're decent at starting things. So this to me looks bullish right now on the shorter term chart, really, unless you can get back below 70. So right now the bulls are in control, and I think we could cruise up to 90 again pretty easily. And why do I say that? Well, that's just the top of a profile level. So and that's where we were last time. So I could see us, again, simple trend line here. That's all it is. And you could draw it in multiple places, but there's one trend line for you. It looks bullish on the trend line. And again, just coming back to balance here takes you up to about 88. And this is, a multi-month. This is basically a 4-month chart. So,
and where is the low end of that value range that they need to sneak back into and start building?
Right about where we got to 78.51. Yeah.
Interesting that the argument it failed there, but
and again, that's an area that we failed from before. We got down to 76 here. So again, there's a lot of numbers here that, this is kind of where we broke down from. You see it right here, 79 or so. So it's not a perfect world here, but this is very volatile and you can trade it. And then when you look at the OIH or the USO, if you want to look at those two, you're going to see the same thing. I'm just going to keep the same time frame just to kind of show you. Now the OIH is more of the services, so it's not as oil related. This one, hasn't even come off that much. So
no, that one in particular is a lot more bullish for sure.
Yeah, a lot more bullish. But again, I don't know if I really want to chase it right here. Maybe if
fractal out for a second, because if you are in and if you got it, if you're holding it, where are you a slob? That's what we like to look at. Where are you a slob for not?
Well, again, it's been much higher. I mean,
right.
So, in 2015, it was $800. So it's trading 322 right now. The COVID low was put in early, and it's just been going up, obviously, with oil. So this has not performed too poorly. It's gone from 57 to 322 and currently sitting at 289. I don't know, 240 looks like a good spot to really lay into it and start getting long if you're not long. So
right on.
And then the USO, we'll stick to the longer term picture here. Again, this is more oil based. This is straight oil. It's not the services, all the refiners and everything. This is more, companies that are in the oil game, strictly not refining. And again, 91 was the high here when we were peaking up there at $130 oil, and it's trading at 67. Again, this is a lot of holes in here, a lot of things that could be filled in. I mean, if oil collapses and goes to $40, this will be $30. So, that again, trade the real, and then if you want to try to align this with it, that's your job. But I'd rather just stick to the real myself versus trying to figure out these ETFs. But that's me. I don't like paying more taxes if I don't have to.
That's right. I mean, and that is the number one reason to trade commodities.
Yep.
Right. The number one reason is that tax benefit. Definitely benefit. Matt, I needed to share this because it was hilarious to me, and it reminded me. It reminded me of a fond story I had. And it illustrates that you might be an expert at something, but people that are experts at anything, right, sometimes are incredibly ignorant someplace else. Mm-hmm. Anyway, DCP Cooks shared this. Just walked into the kitchen. By the way, he's building out a brewery in Mundelein, and the kitchen crew is getting together, and they're discussing the difference between cartoons in Mexico and the U.S. Fred is Pablo, for all you people taking score here on names. Barney is Pedro. Betty is Betty. Wilma is Vilma. But his favorite was the Jetsons is Los Supersonicos. And I don't know why El Trompetente didn't have a whole, Hispanic collection as he brought out. Why didn't he bring out the El Trompetente Hispanic trading cards? Because, you double your market if you do that.
Yeah.
The reason why I bring this up, Matt, and I'm going to hold off for my story because there's more pressing news, major announcements. I free smoked border crisis. Speaking of Mexican cartoons, and this just kills me that the free smoke, found this from the left, from Yahoo News, Matt. Here's the headline: Is there an immigration crisis at the U.S.-Mexico border? Is there any ability for you not to know as a person in this country that there actually is a crisis there? I don't know.
Yeah.
It blows me away. It blows me away that that you have to ask the question. I don't know where we can even go with that. You know where we can go with that, Matt? I take that back. I do know where we can go with that. Let me share with you one of the most stable pairs in the world right now, and that is the Mexican peso, US dollar. And the peso looks a little bullish here to me. Peso, generally everybody thought it would just go to zero, especially when we started trading it in the late 90s on the CME. It had been on the floor, and then it got decommissioned. They closed the contract. Then when the Nuevo peso came on board, they brought it back. And for me, I don't know. We got a nice bracket here that they broke out of here from 05 down to 04 half. They can hold this weekly average level here where they made the low this week. This low week this week was 0.05013. As long as they can hold there, I don't know why we wouldn't go see, I don't know, 5.5, 5.6, something like that. Thank you. Thank you for the segue on to something tradable. The Mexican peso futures fully available for trading at the CME.
I do want to talk a little bit about Netflix because we have discussed it here and said I pounded the table that it was going to be the short of 2023, and that was when it was trading 330, and back here I mentioned that just in this level, and got up to 336, and buy and hold. It does not work, folks. And again, 287 down $30 today. Ouch. So spot on once again, good timing. Take some profits. Again, take some profits because it's not easy in the short game. And take at least a quarter, take a half off, and then you can put it back on if it bounces, right? You can buy more puts, you can sell more stock, however you'd like to trade. You want to sell more calls. It's interesting. I started selling calls on this here, and I was selling like the 345 strikes. Those were about $5 when it was trading 320. And then I sold more calls when I ended up selling like 360 calls that were again like $5. So those have fully collapsed because they were December 30th strikes, end of the year. Those have collapsed. They're zeros. So I've already taken those off. But now the way I look at something like this is I think any bounce now you can sell stock. Right now, this is looking kind of topish to me. You can sell stock up to probably 350. So we're at 290 if it bounces again. And again, why am I so bearish? Well, I think this is going to trade back to 200. So this has had a huge move. 154. Don't forget, this was 154 in June. This more than doubled, and it came right back to the area where it should have. Right. This is the breakdown area. And so all this excitement and happy days is over for now. It might get up here to 360, 375. But again, I think this is going to trade all the way back down here to 200 minimum, if not, 100. So this has work to do. And keep in mind that this did take out the COVID low. So I point this out because I think, every stock will eventually trade to the COVID low. It's got to test those lows, and that low for this stock was somewhere around here, which was 298, which is right where we're trading. So we're basically at the COVID low on Netflix, and they just had a huge, 100+% rally in the last 5 months. Sell it, please. Don't be a pig. This is not going back to 700 anytime soon.
The 700 club. Yeah, I don't think
not going back to the 700.
The 700 club. All right, Matt, what I want to share, because I had forgot to share our little segment. We're not going to do an absolute horse shit segment today because I just want to share this. Hold on a second. There it is. We talked about Aaron Rodgers the other day, and I forgot to share this. This is the Night Cafe AI interface, and I put in ayahuasca quarterback. or ayahuasca football player. Hold on a second. Let's see what I actually put in. Of course, I can't do that. And I can't do that. Oh, hold on. Where are my creations? Where are my creations? Yeah, this was the one. Ayahuasca quarterback smiling from heaven. I didn't like it. It really didn't give me a. And then I said ayahuasca football player smiling from heaven. And of course, the AI put in a soccer ball. I mean, to make me just puke. Give me a break. And then lastly, ayahuasca NFL football player smiling from heaven. And somehow we got like an AI USC quarterback. Take a look at him, Matt. Matt's walking away. We lost Matt. And we got Snoop Dogg playing football. A lot of the same mustachio from the AI engine. Third eye here. Anyway, I'm going to send these off to Aaron, and he can see himself in AI ayahuasca heaven. Heaven is a place. Talking heads. We've lost Matt. He gone. The dog must be doing something. The dog must be doing something. All right. You know what I'll do here, because I wanted to show as we wind down the year, why don't we look at something here? All right, there we go. And I want to point this out. Of course, nobody's trading. Matt, I was saying, as we wind down the year, of course, nobody's trading a 6-month chart, right? But I think it's important to look. I wanted to show you two things. First of all, 52 degrees, the degrees of the pyramids, for all you trend line people. Keep them to 52 degrees. This is an incredible looking chart. I mean, we've had 0 bear markets since 07, 08. 0. More importantly, though, I know you really like this little metric. And on the 3-month here, Matt, you're going to notice in the S&Ps that this will be the first quarter that we haven't touched or been above the up momentum level since those lows in 08, 09. As we run this thing, and I know on your moving average simple methodology, that's very important to you. A full bracket. And now we're talking a full quarter where we have not been able to find that up momentum level. This quarter comes in at 43.32. I highly doubt that we get there this quarter in the last 2 weeks. But that's important to me. So on these longer term.
Yeah, and the last time we saw that was middle, it was like 08, 09. So, that makes sense, right? We're going into some, and again, by the time that turns like that, it's a little late,
For sure. It is. Yeah. But those are the facts on the ground.
But we also had, back then we had a Fed that wouldn't let us fall the way we should have. Like, we fell in 2008, 9, but we should have gone much deeper. And they saved it. Bernanke was the hero, and he thinks he's God now. And now, Janet Yellen, the new Treasury wacko, is just former FOMC head. I mean, it's just the same game. It's the same.
Well, yeah. I mean, the fact of the matter
nothing
is,
changes.
Well, here's what's changed. We have 31 trillion in debt with a interest rate environment that can't go to 0.
Right.
To fund it.
Right.
Those are the facts on the ground.
Yeah, but they're trying to, and again, what they're going to try to do is wipe out all the pensions, and and say everybody's going to have to work. It's going to have to be for everybody. It's going to have to be for the good of all. We're the government. We're here to save you. Wait until that happens, and all these pensions that they're saving right now, they're not going to be able to save.
Well, they can't save them all.
They can't, and they're all going to fail at the same time. And even the ones that they save won't get saved, right? So, you can put a Band-Aid on that pig today. It's not going to help it, though.
Right on.
Ultimately, the piper will come.
All right, Matt. Thank you for joining. Thank you, Lee.
By the way, we got Thursday night football tonight. Who do you like? It's a pretty good game. We got San Francisco at Seattle, a West Coast special. So all the Seattle fans, it's a home game. San Francisco, I think, started out as a 1-point favorite, have moved to 3. Brock Purdy, the new Tom Brady.
Yeah, I'm sold on him. Sold.
9-4, and again, he's from Iowa, so you got the Iowa connection. You played some college football in Iowa, so
Let me just see this though, Matt. Important. Thursday night, 28 degrees, east northeast at 4 miles an hour, 11% chance of precipitation. So it's going to be cold. It's going to be a cold game. That'll be interesting. I like Seattle at home in the cold.
And by the way, Bob, what do you we haven't talked about it, but what do you think the dollar's doing today with everything getting rocked?
Matt, it's follow the dollar brick road. Follow the dollar brick road. Follow the dollar brick road. Follow.
Yeah. So again, I want to point this out that we've spent the last few months grinding the dollar lower, and again made a new low again this morning. Traded all the way down to 102.88. So that to me looks like that's where they ran the last of the longs out right there. That seems to be a key area. And again, it was 103. If you were paying attention, 103 is going to be that number. We got to close below that on a weekly, which would be tomorrow. Well, we're all the way back up now to 104.77. This is live. This is the actual price. So, that push down seems to have stopped, and we're on fire again. And that's why, again, the inverse is being seen in the NASDAQ and in the SPOOs. It is ugly out there. Tomorrow is Friday. Will they close it lower here? Will they close on the low and break all these lows that we just talked about? Or will they save it, Bob? That's really the only question left for this pre-holiday week. Will we close below, say, 3,900 on the SPOOs, 10.4 or 11.4 on the NASDAQ? Those are kind of the same levels. This is where we are. What's going to happen on the closing tomorrow? Are they going to kick save them, or is this it?
I wish I had that answer for you in my cliff notes, but I don't.
Okay.
Matt, the more time I've spent with you, the more perma don't I become. So I'm saying they don't do the don't. If you can figure that out.
They don't break 3,900.
No. They don't kick save.
Oh, they don't kick save. Okay.
No kick save available. Merry Christmas, you filthy animal. All right. Thank you, Matt. Next week, Christmas week, we will be doing some check-ins.
Just to be clear, you're taking Brock Purdy and the San Francisco 49ers -2.5.
No. I'm taking the Seattle home.
You're taking the points and Russell Wilson's backup.
Yes, exactly. Better than Russell.
Well,
yes.
Russell's out now for the year too. So
just be so nice just to collect. Yeah, I mean, you just imagine getting that paycheck and just sitting on the couch. I can't even imagine it.
Yeah.
That'd be nice. All right, we got a nice sunny day here, Matt. I think I'm gonna go
nice sunny day, a high of 15. It's beautiful out.
Yeah, we got
freezing out there.
And by the way, before we go, Matt, bring up natty gas, right? The polar vortex fully enveloping.
Well, we talked about that 635 level and how you could have traded it yesterday and again overnight and again today. Let's just bring that up because we were so adamant about how that is a good tradable level once we filled that gap there. And sure enough, that thing just en fuego, 8% today. Natty is up 8%, Bob. And I'm trying to get it populated here, but it's through the roof. 695 trading right now. Again, 635. Look at that. Boom, boom, multiple times. Bang, bang. Look at that mother effer. That thing's next level. What is it? 770 or so. Once we get past the 710, looks like it. Everything's slow. It's cold out here. Again, baby, it's cold outside.
I really can't stay.
Yeah, 760 looks like. So again, this is shaping up very nicely for the bullish scenario. Again, a lot of interested parties down to 540. And we've pointed out these levels. That deep pullback in here was good. That was just the gap fill. Boom, that's the gap right there. That was full. Very technical trading. I mean, nothing but, right? That and the winter momentum at your back. And by the way, we're 5-6 days from the solstice, the shortest day of the year.
Yes, Matt, let me share because I keep sharing this guy, and if you don't follow him and you're trading energies, you need to rectify that. You need to follow this guy, Heinrich Leopold. He's talking here about the UK and corruption. That's weird. But this is one from 22 hours ago. Hello, Texas. 9 to 15 inches of snowfall are a probability in Texas around December 23rd by his modeling. Can you imagine Dallas, Texas with 15 inches of snow? I mean, what a shit show that's going to be. Put that in your December 23rd. Everybody's staying home Christmas Eve in Dallas right now. I'm predicting it. Anyway, he talked the other day about how deep this polar trough is going to reach, and you want to talk about a surge in demand. Start thinking about all the way down in Texas where it's well below freezing. How many more people have to turn on their heat, crank up their heat? That's what you don't realize. Everybody up north is already going to heat their home. There's no difference there in demand, right? But when this polar vortex collapses and it spreads deeper and deeper south, first of all, they're the people that can't handle the cold the most, right? So they're going to be cranking their heat the most. And it's going to be a giant demand. And I'm not saying that we talked about this before. I'm not saying that this is a seasonal thing, and you better pay attention to it, right? You better not be shorting natural gas because, well, you can do whatever the hell you want. But if you don't understand the seasonality, they will carry you out because there's no reason why this natty cannot go right back to $10. That's what I'm saying. And that's what the chart is telling me. Bingo. Lee's right. I think what we do right now is just head to Dallas with a truck with a plow on it, right? And just start, 300
because in places like that, when it snows, they don't care. They're just like, I'm not going out. They don't even care. They're just like, I'm taking a
300 a driveway. 300 a driveway. That's what I'm charging.
Listen, when I lived in Knoxville and it snowed there one time, same thing. They just shut it down 1 inch. Nobody cared. They don't care. Just shut it down. Don't go out. The don't. Again, the don't.
All right, thank you very much. Please visit us at
It's not the don't. That's how people are. I'm just giving you. I mean, that's why I'm a good trader, because I understand how dumb people are.
Dumb. All right, thank you, Matt. Thank you, Lee.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Mark. Please join us, marketbottles.io. Please join the community. Please visit Amazon.com and buy some Shrimp Mojo. And that's what we got. That's all we have. We have no more.
That's all she wrote.
That is all she wrote. And then this happens, Matt.